Hello, welcome to the second part of tutorial on how to translate Diablo 2 mod to your own language. In the first part I've talked about translating the strings that are used extensively inside the game. Now it's time to talk about translating screens that display language-specific information. What I mean by that? Let's start the game and check. Alright, let's assume that we've prepared all the necessary things earlier, and let's start a game. And the screen that I'm talking about, that displays this language-specific information, is this one, where you enter to new terrain. This red text is graphical text. No, it's not rendered in real time. It's prepared graphics that is shown in appropriate moment. Most of them will be in your game probably, but there are some who won't. I've prepared here a special kind of object, a map to a new terrain, that hopefully won't have the necessary text associated with it. Let's try to open this portal to this new terrain. Alright, and let's go in there. And here you can see the similar error that we've already seen earlier. Namely, the game wants to load a screen that doesn't exist. We would have to prepare it, but hopefully it's not entirely non-existent. It's just present in a different language, namely English. That's the most common way of creating Diablo 2 mods. Alright, so let's start with the basics. We need some tools to accomplish this feat. First thing is the MPQ editor. I will use the old I know, not old, but the one I've used earlier. It's the MPQ editor, to open the files and search for the necessary thing. Some mods may introduce new areas that won't be available otherwise, so you would have to prepare a list file for it. The best thing to do is to ask the creators for it. I've got a list of several files that are related to graphics from the Project Diablo 2 mod, and I'll be using this list. What else do we need? Next step will be opening the file for edition, and here I've decided to use this 6-dice editor. It's available on the Frozen Keep forum page in the downloads section. It's under animation editing, and in the animation editing page 6-dice is here. You can of course use any other editor that you like that does the job. Alright, so we have two things ready, namely 6-dice. Whoops, I've packed it again. I want to unpack it. Alright, here it is. A 6-dice editor may require you to install Java runtime environment. So careful of that. Hopefully it will run like so. Alright, what else do we need here? Next thing would be the txt DC6 program. I couldn't find it anywhere on the web now, so I'll post it on my Dropbox folder, and the link will be in the description of this film. This little program creates a DC6 file, so graphics for the Diablo 2 game, from the txt file. And here I've created, there is a test file with, that comes with it. I will be using this one. It's in the tab delimited format. Here is the population, and it's in the format, the name of the file that we want to create and the content of it. Alright. And after that we will need some program to modify our image if it's necessary. For example, if you want to add in some language specific symbols, then we would have to edit this generated file. Alright, let's start with this. So first thing to do is to run the MPQ editor and extract the necessary files that we have to translate. Alright, I'm in the Diablo 2 folder, and the patch D2 is probably the most common thing to open here. Alright, as I've said, we would need an additional list of files if there are some. So I'll use this prepared txt file and load it. Alright, in the local section, user interface, in the English part, we see here that we have how many files? 13 files in here. But in the Polish section that I want to translate, we have only 4 elements. So, as we can clearly see, there are some things that are added. So these files would be the ones that we will have to modify, create in our own language, if you want. And first thing to do is to extract them. They will be extracted hopefully to the work directory here, local user interface, and they are in the English language, so we have them here. I'll be using only one of them. Maybe it's not the best choice for now, but it will do. So I'll well, you would have to do all of them, so it would be best to start from the first one. But I'll be using this one that I have the map prepared to open Portal for. Alright, so with that in mind, let's take this file and I'll open it in the 6-dice editor. You can open it anywhere on your computer, but I like to keep it sort of clean. Alright, let's open this one and let's find this file. I've put it in here, and here it is. So this file is this graphic image that will be displayed when entering the new area, and this one is for the ruins of Vision area, namely. Alright, when we know what this file contains, we can prepare in txt DC6 the necessary txt file. So I'll remove all of this, leave only the ruins of Vision translated to my language. And now, unfortunately, that may not be enough for you. If you watched closely, the text that are in my language particularly are not so big as displayed. So I will be using Ladik MPQ editor to extract the fonts that I need to use to create a file in the proper format. To do that, I would need to go back to Diablo 2 original files that are in D2 data MPQ archive. So we will open that, and the fonts will be located in data local font folder, and depending what you want, you would have to open the correct one. I've watched earlier what I need, and it turns out that I would need the font in the size of 30. This one here that you see in 6 Dice editor, this is 42 type font, I believe. So I'll extract this font 30, and there's one thing I would need to extract also. This is the txt file accompanying the font. It's in the Latin folder. So I'll extract this txt file also. Alright, let's check where it is. It's in the translate folder, in the work, data, local, and the font. Alright, we have 2 of those files here. Alright, where do we move them? We would need to move them into the txt dc6 folder. Oh, here it is. So font 30 goes in here, and the font 30 txt file goes in here. Alright, and now we will be able to use this font size to create our images. Alright, now we have, I believe, prepared our txt file to run, and the txt dc6 program is an old one. It uses the so-called command line interface to run. So it's the program to run, the file that we use to generate our inputs, and the font size that we want to use with it. Alright, so let's try to run it. Yeah. And we'll see if it generates our file. Seems to have done something. It created the test2 dc6 file. That is our, how we would say, this is where this is our file generated with these settings in here. So this should have the text wkraczasz do ruin Vision ready. Let's try it. Let's try to check this. So we go into 6 Dice again. Oh, although I have it opened. Alright. And in here we have the test2 dc6 file, and here it is. It has the text that we wanted to gain. So it reads wkraczasz do ruin Vision. That's what we wanted to obtain. Now, if there are no symbols specific to Polish language example in this text, so I can just take this file and use it. I'll take the text from this one and copy in here. Alright. If we would like to modify it, we would have to, in 6 Dice editor, we would have to extract all the animations from it, so the two images in this instance, and modify them separately, as you would say, and then input them again back to our DC6 file. That's possible with the 6-dice editor. Alright, we have the M1L2 file prepared, so I'll copy it to Project Diablo folder in the data section, local, user interface, and since we want to translate it to Polish, in the Polish section, in here. Alright, now it's time to check if our experiment will succeed. I'll restore the Necromancer character and run Project D2 mod again. I ran it as earlier with the direct attribute. Let's try this. Okay. Now here we have a problem, and it comes from the MPQ editor currently running. I'll close it down and run it again. Alright, we are in game. Let's try to start this game again. Let's prepare this map once more. And let's try it out. I'm not sure if you have to be in Harrogate to open it, but I'm teleporting here anyway. Let's run it. And here we have this map opened, and we can go inside. And here we have the text that we wanted to gain. Alright. Entering ruins of vision. And that's more or less everything that I wanted to share with you. Thank you for your time.